it doesn't make as much sound. I'll do that right now. I pump the heat up and then turn it off for a while so it's quieter. Okay, I think we got everything we need. Okay, oh, and if you have a blanket or a small pillow, I'm not sure if we'll use it, but it might come in handy today for something with the hips. Okay. I'll wait till I see that you've gotten something. Just in case you need it. I should have mentioned that earlier, sorry. Mm. Okay, looks like she's good. All right, okay. So welcome to your class. Let's start on our backs. Since you didn't sleep as well, let's start on our backs. Let yourself settle, lengthen out, and just breathe. Perhaps inhale to splay the fingers and toes. Exhale to squeeze those hands into fists, curl the toes. Inhale, splay and flex. The ankles, exhale to squeeze. So if you like this, breath matches movement. A few more times. One more time, splay. And reach those arms overhead. Legs can draw together. Point the toes, long stretch. And circle those arms round. Hug the knees in toward the chest. And then plant the feet. A little rock through the pelvis, so rock it toward you. And then just gently away or to neutral curves. Rock it toward you. The low spine imprints or meets the mat for a lot of us as we do the little tuck and release. Tuck and release, just like in Pilates. And tuck and start to lift just the base of the sacrum off the earth, the diamond-shaped bone in the spine, and then lower. Lift just a little, or round just a little, and roll down. It's tiny, tiny, tiny. Awareness of the pelvis today, how it moves with the spine, and a little higher of a lift and lower. So maybe the mid back is rising off the earth. Do whatever breath pattern feels natural for you. And a little higher, right, toward those low ribs, and release. Low ribs start to lift and release. Let's do 3 more. Each time you rise and then lower heavy through the backs of the ribs. Last time lift, maybe a little higher now. Press into those arms. And then lower the spine right back down. A little rock of the pelvis side to side now, to the right and to the left. So more weight on the right, then it shifts over to the left in this rocking motion. See how still you can keep the knees. They will move a little. This again is about awareness of the pelvis. And though we see this in Pilates, it'll be nice to incorporate here. And return back to center. Peel that spine off the earth. Lift up into a bridge and little dip of the left half of the pelvis and lift. Little dip of the right half and lift. It's very small, just like that rock on the earth was small. Maybe you inhale to dip, exhale to lift. Getting some strength through the legs at the same time. A few more. One more each side. Nice. Lift those hips nice and high. Arms can reach toward the ceiling, then overhead to the earth, perhaps. Circle the arms as you lower, lower, lower through the spine. Hug the knees in and rock again across the back of the pelvis, side to side. A little massage for that area. And then pause, take the toes down perhaps. So this is option one. Arms can be outstretched from the shoulder in a T, like we did last time. Or those shins could be in alignment with the knees, whichever you'd like here. Inhale over to the left, just a little bit, and exhale to center. Inhale to the right, and exhale center. And notice if those knees start to move, if the thighs move. See if you keep the legs squeezed together. Level through the knees means level through the pelvis. Stability here. Heavy the upper body as much as you can. Nice strong exhale each time you return. One more, or even out on each side rather. And return to center. Hug the knees in. Plant the feet, if not already planted, this time parallel. Arms stay extended, and let the legs windshield washer side to side. And see how the hips move when we're not squeezing the legs together. And this more relaxed rotation. One more time to the right. Stay, bend the elbows, reach the arms overhead as you lengthen that left leg, and you'll naturally roll onto your spine, splay arms and legs. Then draw the feet together, arms reach overhead, long body stretch. Circle those arms round as you slide the feet in, knee hug. Then replant the feet, arms extend again, windshield washers to the right and the left, kind of the relaxed version. One more time over to the left. Arms can bend, reach them overhead, reach that right leg long, roll onto the back again. Then arms by your sides as you slide those heels in, but nice and wide. Hopefully the legs have landed kind of wider than normal. Press the arms down, peel the spine with these legs wider. Stay at the top here for a moment. And let's play with the arms. Reach arms overhead and circle them round. Pelvis stays up. Arms reach overhead and circle. See if you can find a still lower body. I know mine's wanting to wiggle. Let's do two more arm circles. Final time. Reach, reach, reach. Arm circle and lower the spine down with the legs wider now. Try the windshield again. See how this feels in the inner thigh. Those leg bones rotating in the socket. One more time to away from me rather, and then toward me. Then roll onto that side and press yourself up. Land with the legs zigzagged. And this is where that blanket, you might like it. So for example, the blanket could come underneath the pelvis. If you find you kind of lean to one side in your mermaid or zigzag stag in yoga, so you could be on the edge of the blanket if you'd like. Okay. And from here, hands frame the front foot, small little rock forward and back. Small little rock forward and back. Sense how that is through the pelvis and the legs. Nothing too crazy here. We did this last time as well. And we'll pause and press through those legs. See if that helps you to take those arms off. And that hand furthest from the shins, plant it. Let's do that side bend over and return. Side bend over. Maybe the forearm comes down, maybe not. And return. Just a few times. More time, side bend. And then opposite side toward the shins, up and over. Up and over. One more time, up and over. Yeah, and return to center here. I'm going to try a little something. So hands can be in front, framing the front leg. This back leg here. See if you can lift the whole thigh. Ooh, maybe I do need my blanket. Off the earth. It's just lifting a few inches. And then you lower it down. This has actually been quite challenging. We're trying not to lean and we're trying to lift the shin off the earth and return. Probably not going to love this. Let's continue this little exercise. It's one I haven't done in a long time to practice it. Trying not to lean. Ooh, it may not be a high lift. Let's do round 3. Ground that other shin. 2. Last one, lift and lower. Give me a thumbs up. How was that? Did it lift at all? Yeah. Okay. All right. So a little bit. Okay. So let's try to bring the hands to heart center. Lift that shin off. See if you can sweep that leg forward and almost across and return back. Sweep it forward. The foot goes to the outside of the opposite thigh, maybe, and return. This little sweeping action with that leg. Yours may come all the way across or not. I'll have to try to see what you're doing there. Yeah. This is for hip mobility, a very active, frustrating way to work on it. Stability of joints rather than passive poses. See if we can do this a few more times. Lots of work here. And good. Let's stay with the legs zigzagged. Little rock. Little rock. Let's turn toward the thighs, away from the shins. Roll onto the belly. We'll get to the other side later here. Little break for the legs, long, long legs. You can press those hands into the earth or lift them up into cactus. Little back extension here. And hover. Back extension. And hover. Just a few like this. Press the base of the pelvis down. One more time, lift. And then lower down those forearms, press them into the earth, come into Sphinx. And let's slide that right leg out to the side and look toward it if you'd like, and return. Opposite side, left leg out to the side and return, opening up the front of the hip a little more. A few more times. Last one each side. Nice. Lower all the way back down. Press those hands into the mat so you can lift yourself up into a downward facing dog. Pedal those feet. Shake the head yes. Shake the head no. And then allow those knees to return to the earth. Sweep your shins over to the opposite side to which they were and zigzag the legs. If you want that blanket, now's the time to put the blanket underneath. I think I will for this side because this side's even worse for me. There we go. And little rock. Little rock. And there's a press through the legs. There's some integration here. Return to center. That hand closest to the thigh, plant it. Side bend over toward that new side and lift up. Side bend and return. Do two more approximately. Really stretch, stretch, stretch that side. And then opposite way. Right away this time. Opposite way. See how the hips feel. Let's do two more. Last one. Nice. Arms frame the front foot again. So let's see how this side does. See if that back shin, the shin furthest from your body, can, oh gosh, lift just a little and lower. Again, just practice that lift and lower. Oh, this side is rough for me. It's just going to be a sense of hover. So you might feel the same. The hand furthest from you can kind of help to a certain degree at this stage if it needs to. Let's do one more like this. Set it down, little rock, before we try that other aspect. Little rock. And now hands could be at heart center, or that right hand could kind of stay down. Other hand on the hip, just so it's out of the way. Just give you another option here. Lift that leg, sweep it in front and across, and return to any degree. It's a very athletic thing to do, what we're doing right now. I don't feel very athletic. Let's do a few more. Let's do two, or attempts at two. Last one across and return. Nice. Sit up nice and tall for a moment. And let's roll to the opposite end of our mats. Whew, remove that blanket if you had it. Back onto the belly again. This time, let's bend those knees. The soles of the feet are to the sky as you allow your legs to lull to the right and to the left. So windshield's on our bellies. Feel how this is in the pelvis. So many windshields today. And circle the shins around in one direction. And reverse. Shins will replant. Find your sphinx. Inhale. Exhale. That. Lower all the way down. Press those hands into the mat so you can find your downward facing dog. Pedal the feet. And this time we'll again play with those hips even more. The right leg can reach up high, three-legged dog. Then bend the knee, stack the hips open to the right wall, and then return hips facing the mat in your down dog. Open and close the hip, front of the hip. Continue this action. Last time, stack it. Then return the hips to facing the earth so you can draw that right leg through between the hands as best you're able. We'll set that back shin down, lift up into a low crescent here, hands to heart center as you rock a little forward and back. Yeah, little rock. And then pause in the 90-90 variation here. And a different way to get up, you could always put the hands down if this doesn't work out. Otherwise, tuck the back toes, really press into your foundations here, your foot and or your toes, and start that little rock again. See if that feels a little stronger. And then lean forward with the body. If you need the support of the hands, try them on the right thigh, okay? Otherwise, lift that back knee off the earth, lengthen the leg. Then small kind of shift back with the weight so that you can step forward. And then long spine, hands to shins, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale to fold. Bend those knees, sink the hips into chair pose. Hands could come to the heart if you'd like. And then press your way up to stand. Circle those arms around. Let's reach those arms up overhead again. And fold. Hands to shins, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale to plant those hands and step back into a plank. Knees could be down or lifted as you rock the body forward. Then bend the elbows. Find your variation of the chaturanga and your variation of the up dog. That could be sphinx. And hips up and back, downward facing dog. That left leg now, nice and high. Reach, reach, reach. Bend the knee, open the leg to the left, and then close. So the knee opens to the side and the knee faces the earth. Trying to keep that other leg still. It will want to move as we press evenly through hands. Feet like this. Do two more. Last one, open and close and draw that knee through between the hands. The foot will plant. The back knee can come down, lift into a low lunge here. Hands to heart and little rock. Little rock. Come into stillness if you need to plant or curl those back toes, press through that back forefoot. Find your stability here, and then little rock again. The body starts to lean. With the body angled forward, hands could come to the thigh or hands stay at heart center. Lengthen the back leg, shift back a little so the back knee does bend, and then step forward into this kind of half squat. Hands come to the shins, lengthen through the spine, and exhale to fold. Bend those knees, sink into chair once more, and press yourself up to stand. Arms can circle again. This time, let's open up across the heart. Maybe fingers interlace, maybe your hands just reach back. Maybe stick out the tongue with the hands back or interlaced. Bend those knees, fold.
Release the arms. Hands to shins, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale to fold and step back, maybe with the opposite leg into a plank. Roll forward with the body. Take your variation of the chaturanga, your variation of the up dog, and hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Hopefully your hips are feeling a little more open. That strength through the legs getting up in the fashion that we've been rising. Let's lift that right leg high. Bend the knee, and this time see if you can really bring it close, close, close to the body. Close, 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 and step through as best you can. Let's lower that back knee again. And lift up into the low lunge. Hands to heart center. Tuck the back toes. Lean. Maybe the hands are on the lead thigh, whatever you've got to do here. Lift that back knee off. Shift the weight back, and then step forward. This time, rise right away. Arms reach up. And hands to heart center. Let's shift or lengthen that right leg back. Lean the body forward into a warrior three. That left hand can come down. Stack the hips to the right. And see if you can balance here. Return back to center with the hands down this time. Bend that left knee, set the right toes back behind you in that long lunge again. Maybe one time the hands come off to heart center, strengthen through the legs. And return the hands to the earth, step back into a plank. And let's find that chaturanga again. The chest reaches through the arms. And the hips go nice and high. Down dog. Lots of work there. That left leg will go high. Bend the knee, really draw it in, even come onto the right toes a little bit to help you get that leg through. And then lower that back right shin. Find your low lunge. And hands come to heart center. Tuck back toes. Lean forward. Hands can come to thigh if you'd like. Lift back knee off. Shift the weight back. Step forward and press up to stand. Arms can circle. Lift and send back that your left leg. Find that warrior three. Perhaps lifted, perhaps not. And that right hand will come down as you stack the hips open to the left side wall. Ooh. Do your best here. It's early in the morning. Nice. Turn those hips back to face the earth. Then bend that right knee so you can plant your left foot. Hands down here to find our plank. And this time, just the hips go nice and high and back, down dog. Knees return to the earth nice and wide, toes together. Sink the hips to heels. Child's pose. Perhaps rock that forehead on the earth. And now, press yourself up. Tuck your toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. That right leg can reach. And let's do this nice and slow. So bend that right knee, draw it through center into a plank. And then reach the leg nice and high. Draw it through. Send the leg nice and high. One more time, leg comes through, knee toward that right elbow now, shift it over, then shift that knee over to the left elbow, to the right, to the left, to the right. One more time to the left. Just lengthen that leg out to the left. And keep the hands on the earth today, or maybe that left hand lifts. It doesn't have to. Return it to the earth. Rebend that right knee and drape the shin. So it could be shin underneath the thigh, okay? Or angle it out either 45, anywhere from 45 to 90-degree angle. It's usually what most people go for. Lengthen the back leg and stay nice and high. Press through the legs. Might even be that those hands could come off. There's so much press through the legs. Eventually that will probably happen. If this is too much for the knee, you could instead roll onto that right hip and stagger, zigzag the legs again and do that little lean we did earlier and just stay, okay? So high today. And this more integrated variation lately. Healthy for the hips. With this sense of press out of your foundations, you can still lower perhaps onto forearms if that's in your practice, but there's still a press out. You do find that there's some dumping, right? Try the zigzag, or that blanket that you have could go underneath that right hip if that would help. You'll level them out. Take some breath. Soften the mouth, the jaw. Another breath in. And exhale to rise. If you were lowered come onto the hands. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. And here you might be able to lift that right leg and find a plank. Hips go nice and high, down dog. Pedal the feet. One more side to go here. Your left leg right reaches. And draw it through center into a plank. We'll go nice and slow. Reach, reach, reach. And hug in. Head in line with spine. Again. Another time. Nice. Suction cup that leg close to the body and then shift the knee over to the left and to the right. Left and right. A few more. One more time to the left and over to the right. If you can, lengthen that leg. And hands can stay on the earth or the hips high. Right arm might reach. Doesn't have to. And return it to the earth as you rebend that left leg. Bring it back to center and decide if you'd like to drape it with shin under thigh or angle it, as long as it's okay for the knee. This is where instead of going, oh yes, I'm just gonna lie down here, press. And if that doesn't work, we're on that left hip, what we did earlier, the stag legs, maybe even with that blanket under hip. All right, we can pause. Maybe you lower down, keeping strength through legs. And see if you can soften the face, wiggle the jaw. The upper body can be a little softer since we're so actively pressing through the legs. One more inhale. And exhale to rise if you were lowered. So part way onto hands here. Tuck the back toes. Lift that right knee off the earth. Suction cup left leg in, and then sweep it back into your plank. And hips go high. Down dog. Bend to straight with the legs. So a few times. Bend to straight. Bend them. Then, as you straighten, step forward with that left foot to the outside of the left hand. Step forward with the right foot to the outside of your right hand, rather. So right, left, into a squat. Yeah. So our mala here to stretch through the inner thighs. Again, there's this press out of the feet, even if it means you come up a little, there's a little strength there. The upper arms can press into the thighs can press back. So we get a little longer spine. This isn't easy. You got this. Ready? Inhale and exhale. Let's lower by taking your hands behind your body. Draw the legs together. Maybe a little hug. Yeah. Wrap the arms the opposite way. Little hug. And sit up nice and tall. Hands can come behind the body. Maybe those forearms down. And lift through the chest. And let it sink in. Inhale, lift. And exhale, sink in. One more time, lift. And then slide the arms long, rather, and roll down through the spine. Hug those knees in. Very good work. That left foot can plant, can extend that right leg long, and hamstring opener. There's this active push of that right leg into the hands press back. All these counter forces. Explore how that strengthens your stretches, even stabilizes. And release that leg. Plant the foot, nice and simple. Other side, left leg reaches. The pelvis be heavy, shoulders soften. A little longer here. Inhale and exhale. That knee can draw in only so that that left leg can lengthen out. Hug the right knee in. And then take it across the body for supine rotation.
Open that right arm. Another breath in. And exhale to return to the spine. Both knees hug in. And the right leg can go long. The anchor through that leg as you hug left knee in. And soften a little bit and take your right leg, or left leg rather, across the body for supine rotation. Let the breath stretch the body. And return to your spine. Long stretch here, toes to fingers. And we'll find Savasana of choice. You've got that blanket there, so you could always stretch that out over the body or take that under the hips and have the knees bent, or make a cradle for the hat. Something soothing. Observe your experience. Your current state. And now take those hands and place them over the eyes. Cup the eyes. Notice if there's any shift in your state. Observe. Perhaps splay the fingers to let in a little bit of light. Maybe open the eyes or keep them closed. And take those hands away from the eyes. And just breathe here and notice how you feel. Begin to wiggle those fingers and toes or any movements that feel good for you right now. Stretch and move. Maybe a final knee hug. And roll onto one side. After an exhale or on one, press yourself up to a seated posture of your choice. And let's move the head. So you could rock the head side to side. Or if it's safe for your neck, take the head all the way around. Just gentle. And reverse directions. And drop the chin. And then look up as the arms reach up. Hands can draw it down to heart center. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Let there be peace. Satnam. Thank you for practicing with me today. Turn off this recording thingy. There it is.